Today I'm going to have some fucking fun with this one. I am going to talk about a huge, ridiculous, fuck you money campaign strategy for meta ads for an e-commerce company. So by fuck you money, I mean money where you can basically say fuck you to anyone you want because you have absolute freedom to do what you want. So I'm going to do a campaign structure assuming that you are not someone who's just trying to start out with 2-3K budget per month into your ads with like maybe the smallest clients we might work with. Instead, I'm going to assume that you have some bank behind you. I'm going to assume you're a badass motherfucker who wants to get results quick. You want to take the market because you know your product is spectacular and it deserves the money behind it because it will work out.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we're going to get to look into this today. Let's go over to a screen share. I'm going to tell a story first. This is a completely made up story, but it gives us some structure for this fun game. So I made a major skincare brand. We're going to call it Evergreen Essence, which was thanks to ChatGPT. And Evergreen Essence is looking to get more out of their paid advertising. They want to scale their beautiful, eco-friendly skincare brand. So they're basically interested in meta ads. They're not new to the game, though. They do have loads of money. So they have fuck you money. So here's a campaign structure that we're going to go through. It's about 300K. I'm going to assume roughly that person has each month to spend. And just as a bit of fake context so that we can have some structure to this, they're going to be targeting women in their 30s from both the USA and the UK, and their focus is it's about health rather than necessarily just covering it in crap, and with an eco-friendly angle too. And their top selling products are Evergreen Radiance Serum, plus they do very well with the Evergreen Hydrating Cream. All of this is made up, but it's also slightly quietly based on a client of ours that we went and scaled to a very large stake. So this is based on some reality. So this is based on what I do with clients all the time. I have an ads agency. We've literally sent millions of pounds of ad spend through the platform and produced many, many more millions in revenue. So this is based on reality. This is based on what I would think I might actually do. So let's zoom out firstly and you can see the big picture. It's actually hard to show it all on the screen, but we're going to go into detail in a second. This is how I'm going to break it down. So we have top, middle, and bottom of funnel. We have focuses on different product groups. We've got different levels of campaign, ad set, and ad, all of this set up. So this is what I would do if you gave me fuck you money. So let's dig into it. So firstly, I'm going to break it down into product specific. So we have this entire first column is just for the Evergreen Radiance Serum. And then what does that actually do? So I'm going to firstly be breaking this down into the structure that we use for meta ads. So we do creative testing at campaign level, and then we do audience testing at ad set level, and we set budgets at ad set level. So that means that we can be clearly able to just look at the campaign level to see which creative is winning, which creative can be either copy, but it can also be the content, as in the images or videos or carousels. And then ad set is audience. So that's of course interest-based or lookalikes or all the other stuff that you can do. And then there's ad level. So how I would start would be use their top selling product. Let's start there. Let's try and pump all the money we can through that as best as we can and see where the limits come. So this, because it's a very big market, just to point out, this is women in their 30s from the USA and the UK. So we very likely can be targeting, there's countless millions of people that we can target with this. We could go more tight, but this is a big fucking company. So let's assume that they don't need to go tight. There was an extra line there. So first thing is going to be the creative. Let's talk about that. Single image with press ads. So this is a really nice type of creative that I might like to test. This would be using things like as seen in XYZ, new look, as seen in XYZ, famous newspaper, news magazine, or basically connections to famous brands, famous designers, etc. People who can connect their brand into this particular product, or a single image celebrity endorsement. So just to point out, these two are both single images. Sometimes single images do best. Kim Kardashian holding your bottle of product, you'll do well. If you can get Kim Kardashian to hold your bottle of product, at least with somebody. So these, great to test. We've got influencer videos, endorsements focused on the benefits. We've got influencers endorsing with an unboxing style. We've got the science behind it. We've got the benefits with a different influencer. So I don't want to just have one influencer. This is fuck you money. So we're going to have multiple different influencers doing each of these different things. But point out that I do keep it consistent. So influencer 1 and influencer 2 have both done unboxing, both have done science behind it, and have both done the benefits. So then we can see, all right, both of them did better with the science behind it video, and influencer 2 did better than influencer 1. So then we can narrow it down to make influencer 2 do some other science behind it style videos. And also, why did influencer 2 do better than influencer 1? So these are all really great questions we can be answering with this. I'm also going to be testing carousels. I love carousels, especially with the skincare space. Those were some of our best campaigns, were carousels, delivering the very best ROAS. And then we've got product impact flow, but we've also got product benefits. So there's lots of different ways you can do carousels. And then the next level within this is the audiences. So I might test, this is just a quick idea, but something like all of women in the US and the UK, super, super broad. Sometimes this can actually do very well. As long as we have enough budget going through the system, Facebook becomes very smart at finding your customers. So sometimes this can be the best. A small interest stack, so by that I mean only 1 or 2 interests added into the mix, and with a kind of eco angle. So there's lots of things that you can connect into the kind of eco-friendly interest that someone might have. Another one could be a larger interest stack. So we might have 5, 6, 7 different interests all stack on top of each other to be much more tight with our targeting initially. A smaller interest stack focused on the skin health, and a larger version also, this should be skin health as well. And then you can see that this is exactly the same as this with the audiences, because the creative and the audiences should be to have a clean test the same. So if we just had these audiences for the single press ads, but then for the celebrity endorsement we had completely different audiences, we cannot compare this with this. So that's just not fair. So to do a good clean test, we have to make it that these audiences are largely, and this isn't always the case, but largely the same for all of the creatives. So then we can go at campaign level and see which of the creatives wins, and it's a fair test because the audience didn't change that, and vice versa. If we look at the audience level, we know that it was the same throughout all of them, and so we can have a fair test when we average them out across. So we can discover not just which was the winning creative, but which was the winning audience. And then over time, we'll slowly narrow that down to the winners and cull all of the bad stuff out of this until we have the very best, and then we repeat this process. And then let's go into the remarketing for this one product as well. So this is the MOF, middle of funnel. So I really like to do, again, lots of creative testing. So celebrity endorsements, videos, images, carousels, all sorts of different types. One type of copy, another type of copy. So there's the creative, but there's also the copy attached to that. And then the audiences, I would just use one audience actually. So I would go with just a 28-day stack, which is basically anyone who's engaged with you over Instagram, Facebook, or visited your website in the last 28 days. It's a relatively hot audience. You can go down to say 7 to 14-day stacks, or much longer like 90-day stacks if you have smaller audiences, or it's a longer sales cycle. Like LinkedIn ads, for example, I like to do longer ones. And yeah, this just goes into the single same ad that's based on the campaign that it's connected to. So this is the middle of funnel remarketing campaigns. I love these 28-day stacks. And then the bottom of funnel. So this is someone that's got all the way through to the exact product page for this particular product. We do a slightly longer stack because it's only that web page, so it's going to be a much smaller audience. And we'd still do creative testing at this level. You can see that we've got, I believe it's about 8 different creatives that we'll test, but just with that single audience, all going into that single product page. And then the next part, let's go into the other major product that they sell very well, which is Evergreen Hydrating Cream. This is basically a moisturizer, which I've made up in my head. And so again, I'm not going to go into as much detail, but you can see we're doing a great, huge amount of campaign creative testing with all of these different types of creatives. And then we've got the audience testing as well. So the important thing to point out is there's a lot less testing. So I'm going to be putting probably 40% of my budget into this, let's say 20-30% into this, and let's say 20-ish% into a broader company marketing. or brand marketing, that's the better term for it. What I've done is I've tried to keep diversity within the testing. So I've got the single image, but I've just got one single image. I've just got one influencer doing 2 and one influencer doing another 2. Whereas before we had each influencer doing 3 different things. So we have slightly less diversity in that area, but we still have 2 different influencers doing multiple types of videos, and we still have a carousel, a couple of videos, and an image. So we have nice diversity, even though it's a smaller amount of testing that we're doing in total. And it's the same for this. So exactly the same logic in terms of the testing that we've got set up here. You can see that we have roughly 4 or so less tests running within this because it's just a smaller budget, and so we want to be realistic and connected back to that. And then this is almost exactly the same with the DPA, but again, smaller amount of testing. And lastly, we would be doing some broad store brand focused stuff. So some people might be looking to discover a general skincare brand that they can fall in love with. This is especially famous and common in the skincare space, is someone who is looking to fall in love with someone that can give them the complete solution. Like some of the best things we did with one of our biggest clients is skincare sets. So a set which is the moisturizer with the cleanser with the XYZ. So this is what this would be focused on. So again, same thing, campaign level testing with different types of creative, going into different types of audiences. I probably would do the same audiences for this as I would the products. I'm actually fine with crossing over with them. That's not a problem with my view of things. And then we go into middle of funnel, similar process, doing different copies and different variations. Of course, the content of all of this will be different because it's going to be a general celebrity endorsement of the brand rather than of a particular product. And in this case, the benefits of the range of products rather than the benefits of, say, the moisturizer or the cleanser or XYZ. And then the only other major difference is within the end of this, we're going to be doing dynamic product ads, which is going to be using your catalog to do much more dynamic remarketing. So it's going to look at literally all of the products that you have within your website, and anyone who goes in to look at any one of those random products, we're going to create a dynamic ad for those and probably use some kind of extra incentive. So whether that's like a 10% discount or it's like, limited stock or some other reason to basically push them over the line. And so this is only if people have got to that very last page, but it means that we can do really nice dynamic marketing to all of your products. So not just the 2 hero products, but all of them. And dynamic product ads is very good for that. So we'll be still doing testing within this. So this is very likely the copy or other things that are connected to it back into this. So this is my e-commerce fuck you money campaign structure. So you can see I focus in on the major products that they're doing best with already. And then we also have some kind of broader store marketing as well with Meta, which can do very well for especially things like the skincare space. Hopefully this was fun for you. Hopefully you took something from it. I'm guessing maybe you don't have 200-300K. It's a niche budget to have 200-300 grand to spend suddenly on Meta, but I'm sure you can still take a lot from this. You can kind of distill this down into a smaller version. I wouldn't run ads anyway if you can't spend at least £1,000 a month. I would recommend 2,000 plus. We don't take any client that's at least got 2,500, for example. If you want to have me deliver on this campaign structure, I would love to. I love producing scale like this. We've done it a bunch of times in the past, and it's just so much more enjoyable because you learn so much. You answer so many questions so quickly when you're doing this much testing. So yeah, I hope to hear from you if you are one of those people, and otherwise I hope you subscribe to the channel so that we can have you follow along. I do lots of other videos like this. Let me know in the comments other kind of videos you'd like to see, and otherwise I hope to see you in the next one.